This program is brought to you by Bible Way Media, a work of the Ulaga Church of Christ.
Thank you for joining me today for our devotional here at the Fireside. Matthew chapter 8, beginning in verse 18. And when Jesus saw great multitudes about him, he gave a command to depart to the other side. Then a certain scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Then another of his disciples said to him, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. As we find here in verses 18 through 22 of Matthew chapter 8, Christ is encouraging these individuals to follow him, to give up these things of this world and put their focus on God, put their focus on him, which will in turn put their focus on godly things and righteous things, things of eternal consequence. It's interesting as we find here in verse 19 and following that this certain scribe that's mentioned here says he will follow him wherever he goes. In verse 20, though, Christ points out here, he says that everything seems to have a home, a place to rest, but not him, there in verse 20. And then in verse 21, he says here that another disciple came to him saying, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. It's not uncommon for man to make statements of great faith and dedication and then not follow it up. We find in verse 22, he says, Jesus replies to this man and says, Follow me, let the dead bury their own dead. This seems he's perhaps referring to the spiritually dead, allowing them to deal with those who have died, those who are not interested in spiritual matters, the heathen. Let them bury those who have deceased. This isn't said in a disrespectful way. I don't think Christ is trying to be hurtful to this individual, but we find that man is very good at making excuses. But when it comes to being determined to follow God and to be his true disciple, a learner of him, friends, let's be those who make no excuses. Thank you for joining me today for a devotional here at the Fireside.
We hope you enjoyed this program. We encourage you to subscribe to our podcast on Pandora, Spotify, or Podbean. Thanks for listening.